If this girl from Fresno, the oldest of six, raised and supported by an entire community, can stand here today as a judge and a Hall of Fame inductee, then I challenge you, so can you.
nhớ rằng ấy chỗ này thì cái tên nên trả sẽ đời mà nó bên mỗi khó họ lử chú sinh và tôi muốn sai judge Pahoua Lor rồi tàu món nữ lúc bây là giữ cho họ chờ lỡ hoa đầy Hall of Fame nó mà sắp phân trả ở một công đoạn bề.
To be inducted into the San Joaquin College of Law Hall of Fame, among other recipients who have given their hearts and talents to the law, is an honor beyond words.
Judge Pahouaเนี่ยพอเกิดเตียเท่าออฟผาหยีเนาะซื้อได้ชีหนึ่งกุมดสมองตลอดไว้ตัว Superior Court Judge เนี่ยตัว Fresno County เจริญเทรงเชียให้เตียchỉ nhỏ rồi tao muốn được luôn bây giờ là cho đồ là lúc trẻ cần đó nó giờ ít khó và Pahoua success story.
Còn nó chế giả dùng gì nữa chờ đợi cái giờ chủ giờ ít nên chỉnh chánh mà cái tiền đi trâu dự rồi là họ là phỉ bây giờ bây giờ sẽ trâu judge Pahoua Lor cần gọi đi.
Justice is not about winning and losing, but about showing up for people who feel unseen and unheard.
Hi. Oh, congratulations. Yeah, thank you. This is such a very nice thing.
Nếu mà tôi muốn sát họ
Chị tao muốn đi à.
Okay, I'll show you.
Yeah, bên một sai là lúc trẻ cần đó.
So shahono ke yalu chicken day mo osana. So this is the first floor. And then right here is what they have the Hall of Fame. So cho nói cho bisa thì cho tiếng Anh chỉnh chánh nè. And so you guys can take a look.
So this is where like chocolate
Yeah.
So you're gonna be next year.
So cho nói cho là mo hay tia. Olu chicken day mo bên đó nè. So yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So nếu muốn sai thì
Share được cơ.
lý của hai ở chỉ tao mua từ bao nhiêu mong thì chỉ tao mua từ bao nhiêu Asia đó. So it's a huge accomplishment. Yeah.
cái món đi cần tới.
Cho không sát sầu á. Yeah.
Cho không sát sầu bây giờ.
Chỉ bảo tình nó là phải cần đó là chỉ cả đó. I think nó là chỉ cả. Đó chỉ cho không thì nhau sát sầu. Thì nhau sát tao nói cho lúc immigration clinic đó. Thì từ bao nhiêu từ tôi kể từ từ cái thầu in thì nếu từ cái đánh thao thế là sẽ là người từ judge for unemployment á. Thì thầu in thì này quá lựa đó immigration nhất sát tao. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Vicky. How are you? I'm good. Thank you. I know. Yeah. Actually, you know, mo hay là cái của những the first mong that passed the bar the lúc chạy này nó. Yeah. One day cũng nói thì tôi mo ở bên tôi mong thế đó chỉ là chỉ pa nè. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a pretty happy day. Yeah.
Chọn để nó chỉ trong gọi li chỉ mát xin đông ra trong cái nữa. Chỉ cá cái gọi li à.
Nó chỉอยู่boss.
Chỉ có giờ tê. Rồi sẽ trâu judge Pahoua Lor, nó nọ lại giờ muốn được trâu họ là phim chỉ là của gió mỏ cá cái nè. Cho nó là hồ orders là chị. Mì cà thì phát gì mà lấy nhện nó lên nó. Thank you. This is very. Nè khỏi trong cái gọi li nè. Nhớ rồi nè tay.
Nhớ hôm nói thế là.
Cái nhớ hôm nói thế là. Cái nhớ hôm nói. Nhớ nó theo lại nè. Rồi sẽ cái tuần này.
Cười à. Đấy tụi mình xài tàu tua giữ nữa luôn bề cho họ luôn không hiền nói nếu bỏ xả đi chả bỏ trong xe thế là chỉ trong là.
Trong cái vào là lâu rồi rồi nó tới tuần sai tôi giữ luôn bây giờ là lúc chỉ cần tới nhau nó lúc trong xe cần cậu này.
我做过呀，我知呢。กูถามจะป่ะว่าเนี่ยตุนชายกันได้เก่งให้เปิด头ว่านี่มีอันชายแล้วเนี่ยก็เก่งเหรอขณะว่าจะรู้จะไปเจอcáiที่นึงจะมองเสด็จฉลองสตูว่าเนี่ยท้องเปล่าไม่กันเนาะว่าไปหาตัวตุนชายจะเยอะอันเนี่ยจีตูเลยเนี่ยไปมองตูนะขณะว่าจะไม่จังทั่วไทยด้วยวันนี้จบนะ
Đó nên trong xe hiện tại thế là gì?
Dùng xe nữa.
Cho từ nhiệt tay tôi tờ nó sẽ lại nào là ở cái lò xay sẽ cam đây hú trà thế cái linh tinh
cú do Pahoua tu nhiệt tại máy cỡ ta sẽ cú do nhiệt giá tông xong xía nó là bé tàu tôi cùng Pahoua này do bé tu xài một bằng sự hán cú tàu lò ấy tu bọn nhiệt mong bé tu ra trong hồ bé California nó bé xong xía hán tôi nó Carolina tu xong xía đầu đi hay tàu tôi cùng nó vậy kho mua tiền gì thấy được cụ thể của không mong tàu chỉ cho nó tàu tôi cùng cho nó thì vô linh đã sao hay biết là nó.
And the fourth inductee is the Honorable Pahoua Lor. To introduce her are Crystal Cabrera and Rosalina Nunez Manfreda.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rosalina Manfreda, and I am a 2009 graduate of San Joaquin College of Law, and I'm a dear friend of Judge Pahoua Lor. And I am so honored to be here tonight to celebrate our wonderful friend and colleague. I have known Judge Lor since our early days here in law school. In fact, I don't know if she remembers this, but we both received scholarships from La Raza Lawyers Association the same year. She, of course, got the big scholarship. I got the smaller one. And more recently, our paths have crossed in the courtroom, where she now presides over family law cases. And you know, she never lets me get a word in during my hearings. In all fairness, it's because she always recuses herself, appropriately, of course. But tonight, Judge Lor, there's no recusing yourself. Tonight I get to speak. In all seriousness, it is an honor to nominate you and to celebrate you on this incredible achievement. Inspiration comes from seeing someone who looks like us, who shares our story. A daughter of immigrants, a young woman learning to navigate expectations at school, at work, and in the world. Judge Lor represents what it means to break barriers with integrity, compassion, and strength. She is a living example of how perseverance and purpose can shape not only a career, but a community. I am so proud of you, of your journey, and of the legacy you continue to build. And I know that future generations of students will walk through these hallways, look up at that wall of fame, and find inspiration in your story. Judge Lor, you are an inspiration to me, to your colleagues, and to every student who dares to dream big. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Crystal Cabrera, and tonight I want to talk about who Judge Pahoua Lor is beyond the title, her courage, her integrity, and the example she sets for all of us. I first met Judge Lor in law school, but I didn't really know her back then. I never had the courage to approach her because she already had a powerhouse reputation. Even as a student at San Joaquin College of Law, she carried herself with confidence, purpose, and quiet authority, the kind of presence that made everyone around her pay attention. Over the years, however, I've had the privilege not only to watch her become an extraordinary judge, but also to call her one of my closest friends. I know from firsthand experience now what it means when she walks into a room. She stands tall, unafraid to speak truth to power, to confront injustice, and to lead with courage, fairness, and heart. She has never been motivated by recognition or position, but by a deep and unwavering commitment to do what's right. Her decisions, her leadership, and her relationships all flow from the same source: integrity. Everything about Judge Lor's career reflects her character. Early in her career, she worked as a staff attorney at CCLS, advocating for low-income clients who had nowhere else to turn. She volunteered with Tenants Together, providing free legal advice to families trying to keep their homes. She also mentored high school students at CART, showing young people from all walks of life that they too can find a place in the law. And she founded the Central Valley Unity Bar Association, helping to build a legal community rooted in diversity, inclusion, and respect. At home, Judge Lor shows the same courage and grace that define her work. To her children, she is a hero, someone who shows them every day that strength can be gentle, that leadership can be compassionate, and that integrity is not negotiable. Despite her demanding career, she never loses sight of what matters most: her family. And that balance, putting them first while giving so much of herself to others, is one of the truest measures of who she is. As a friend, Judge Lor is loyal, fearless, and genuine, the kind of person who stands beside you, defends you, and pushes you to rise higher. She celebrates your wins, stands with you in challenges, and reminds you to keep going when it would be easier to give up. She doesn't just inspire people professionally, she strengthens everyone lucky enough to know her personally. Judge Lor deserves this recognition not only because of her integrity of heart and her heart, but because of the sheer scope of what she's done and how she's done it. She's taken on more, given more, and accomplished more than most of us would even attempt. And she's done it all without ever compromising her principles. She doesn't bend to power. She speaks truth to it. Congratulations, Pahoua, and thank you for everything you do, for all you give, and most of all, for simply being you.
Standing here tonight in this place that shapes so much of who I am fills me with gratitude, humility, and awe. To be inducted into the San Joaquin College of Law Hall of Fame, among other recipients who have given their hearts and talents to the law, is an honor beyond words. I want to start by thanking the committee, the faculty and staff for this prestigious honor. I'd also like to thank my good friends Crystal and Rosie for nominating me. Your support and friendship mean the world to me, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. A warm and big thank you to my family and friends who are here with me in person and in spirit, especially my siblings, my husband, my children, my in-laws, and my parents. My aunt and uncle are also here. And I also want to thank my judicial family, Judge Sanderson, I saw Judge Akeda's here, and my court family, Commissioner Pabet is here, and also my court family, my clerk, Roseanne is here as well, and I want to thank all of you guys. You have stood by me through long nights and self-doubt. You believed in me even when I was lost and unsure. I was 13 when I decided that I wanted to be an attorney. My Uncle Conchi was killed on my 13th birthday, and it was that moment in my life that I made the commitment to become an attorney. The immense pain I felt and witnessed from seeing my grandparents and my mother and her siblings mourn left a deep yearning in me to help ease that burden and to devote my life to service. More than 20 years ago, I first walked through the doors at San Joaquin and sat among doctors, politicians, mothers, fathers, and other remarkable human beings with the shared goal of obtaining a Juris Doctorate. I know it's been over 20 years because my daughter Cheyenne, where is she, is 21, and I have to tell you, I gave birth to her, and 3 days later I started law school. I talked to Jan And I was too embarrassed because Jan told me that the first week is mandatory. So I was too embarrassed to say, well, I just had my daughter. And so 3 days later, after giving birth, I started law school, and she's 21. So a reminder of how many years have passed. To say that I was nervous and unsure would be an understatement. I was scared and intimidated. Through the halls of SJCL, I carried not just my law books, but also the hopes of my entire family, that a daughter of Hmong refugees could one day become a lawyer, let alone a judge. My parents arrived in this country with little more than courage and the belief that education could change the course of our lives. They didn't know much about the legal system, they didn't speak English very well, but they taught me that knowledge once gained can never be taken away. They did not have much, but what they gave me and my siblings was beyond any measure of monetary wealth. They gave their children love, and they believed in our dreams. My parents have always made it a priority in our lives to make sure that we dedicated ourselves to service. So starting in high school, I volunteered at Jane Addams Elementary tutoring homeless students. I didn't even know that homeless students could walk in every day in elementary school, blend in, but they were actually homeless. And so I started tutoring in high school, and when I got to college, I joined the Hmong Student Union, and every year I was a part of the organization that would bus Hmong students from throughout California to UC Davis to give them a glimpse of what a university was like, to give them hope that they too could go to college. And when I walked these halls at San Joaquin, I joined La Raza, and I became, we actually started an educational also event for high school students, bringing them to the law school, and that was with Professor Cullors at the time, who is now Judge Cullors at the Superior Court, with his support. So education has been a big part of my life, and my parents have always encouraged us to continue with higher education. I wish that I could say that I floated through these halls full of confidence and brilliance, but the truth is I stumbled many times. Law school is an emotional marathon filled with exhaustion, self-doubt, and caffeine, sometimes a little bit stronger drinks. I remember sitting in the parking lot with my friend Frankie with her ice chest before exams, and I won't tell you what was in her ice chest, just that it gave us courage. We talk ourselves into having courage, walk into that exam room and hope for the best. They were our pre-exam rituals, a mix of humor, hope, and survival. I remember the late night study groups that always began with good intentions and then ended in laughter about how none of us really understood the rule against perpetuities. I remember working as a library proctor and thinking to myself, I'm getting paid to study. And then I got to witness the quiet determination of my classmates. I can still feel that heart-pounding fear as I stood up to deliver my opening statement in moot court, forgetting half my notes and trying to look confident. Those moments taught me how to think on my feet, how to recover when things don't go as planned, lessons that prepared me for the real life. The classroom breaks were not much of a break because we all huddled around our professors downstairs as they took their breaks, throwing questions at them and taking in everything they had to say. We were like just soaking everything in. Through it all, I was surrounded by people who became like family. We built friendships that have lasted to this day, forged by shared struggles, shared dreams, and a shared faith that we'd make it through. We built networks before we even understood the word. We traded outlines, celebrated victories, and showed up for each other in life's hardest and happiest times. Law school was not just about learning the law. It was about learning resilience, empathy, and the power of community. SJCL helped connect me with my first internship at Central California Legal Services, and working at Legal Aid grounded me in what this profession is truly about, using the law to serve others. I met families in need and in crisis, people who simply needed someone to listen. I learned that justice is not about winning and losing, but about showing up for people who feel unseen and unheard. My experience at SJCL changed me and has made me the person I am today. Every day when I walk into the courtroom, I am reminded that every law student, Every attorney carries both privilege and responsibility, the privilege of education and the responsibility to use that education for good. And that's why education matters so deeply. It is the great equalizer, the bridge between what is and what can be. Education doesn't erase struggle, but it gives you the tools to transform it. It gave me the ability to advocate, the courage to lead, and the ability to turn my family story from one of survival to one of service. If this girl from Fresno, the oldest of 6, raised and supported by an entire community, can stand here today as a judge and a Hall of Fame inductee, then I challenge you, so can you. This honor tonight isn't just mine. It belongs to every teacher, professor who believed in me, every classmate who shared their notes, every client who trusted me, and every person who reminded me that success is sweetest when it is shared. San Joaquin College of Law, Dean Pearson, you guys gave me more than a degree. You gave me wings to soar. I want to thank you guys for teaching me that law isn't just a career, it's a calling. Thank you for giving me a place where an ordinary student, such as myself, an ordinary girl, could find a voice and through education discover the extraordinary power of possibility. Finally, I want to say to my mom and to my dad, thank you for all of your sacrifices. You have loved your children beyond words, and today this is as much your Hall of Fame as it is mine. Thank you.